Hey, how's it going? It is, I think the second. Let me just check that, boo. Because I'm having this real problem just determining what time of day it is. Hold on, I'm checking the date. So yeah, okay, it's the second. Second, there's no T's in the word. The 2nd of January, 2026. And I had pulled some cards, actually a while ago now, because I didn't know I was going to end up going away for a couple of days. So, anyway, I had pulled them, and the previous video I made was talking about how I'm sort of examining energy, and that is still the case. So that is the state of mind that I pulled these with. And what I'm going to do, these are from the Starseed Oracle deck that I got for my birthday. And I've used them a couple of times, but I have not looked at or read the booklet. I have tried. I don't know what my problem is. Usually I could just read the whole, it's small. I could just read the whole booklet real quick, but it just wasn't happening. So I am going to just read what the booklet says on the cards. Like you have my preamble, so we're going to start from there. And where's the first one? That's not it. I believe it was on page 48. Nope, that's not. Oh, star bathing. Let me find that. When I put that in there upside down, didn't I? Star Brothers, nope. Sorry, give me a moment. I'm grabbing every card but the ones that I want. Here it is. So, star bathing, like taking a bath in starlight, I guess. Here is the card. What it looks like. So, yeah. If you were sort of taking a shower in the stars, that's what this looks like to me. I don't know what she's planking on. I'm just assuming it's a she. It's so funny, in the camera, it like magnifies the picture compared to my sad eyes. So there's definitely like a human form on here. Oh, there's the head. It got vague because I couldn't find the head. Oh, it's exactly where it should be. Listen, my senses are all kooky the past couple of days. Anyway, what it says on the card is... Jeez, can I have some more light, please? It says... There we go. Light body, crystal grid, transmission, activation. Dang it, and I lost the page. Alright, let me find it. That does not seem like the right page. Hold on. $104. Okay. Poopy. Where is it? Star bathing. Okay, here we go. So, man, I need to get some brighter lights in here, but I hate that. That's why I don't have any. Hold on, let me see if I can do some kind of thing with my arms. Go away, you're bothering me. Okay. Light body crystal grid transmission activation. That's what it says on the card. So, in the booklet, it says, the stars are constantly showering emanations onto the crystalline grid of the Earth. When things are in balance, the planet also sends information back up to the stars. Many starseeds have come to Earth at this time to help shift the planet vibrationally. using our energy to activate the ancient codes of wisdom that humanity has forgotten. We've forgotten the recent ones, too. We're so terrible to each other. And I know that there's that whole pre-birth blueprint thing, and none of this should be I guess none of this should be a surprise to any of us, but that's the forgetting everything element that they have just referred to when it says to activate the ancient codes of wisdom that humanity has forgotten. So we actually did that on purpose too. The forgetting. What kind of diabolical people are we? Anyway, to activate the ancient codes of wisdom that humanity has forgotten. Oh, for now, I hope you locked in on that, because that was 3. And all of that information is stored in the crystalline grid. Okay. If you pull this card, you may be being called to begin working with the stars and the crystalline grid of the earth. Some people believe that the crystalline grid of the earth anchors divine cosmic frequencies onto the planet. You may be guided to journey to particular places on earth to unlock these cosmic codes with your presence. You may also be interested in a practice called star bathing. Download a star bathing meditation at www.starseedoracle.me. I guess. I never heard of that, but it looks like that's what it says. Oh, it must be a period at the end of the sentence. Never mind. This card commonly arises because you're here to connect with the crystalline grid of the earth, either in your hometown or by traveling to other places without quite knowing why. It can also mean that your light body, let me try that again. It can also mean, okay, shut it. It can also mean that your light body, the energy body in its highest form, is being activated. If this resonates, take things extra slow in order to integrate this change of vibration. So, well, let me finish. Damn, I just can't see in that light. Place the card on the portal of your heart and whisper the following. I open myself up to receiving the wisdom of the crystalline grid beneath me. May the stars and the earth inform and heal me. And as they do, may it heal the earth too. That's 2 with double O's, not TWO. Okay, so I didn't realize that it was just going to give you kind of a straight definition of what it was talking about. So, I mean, that's good for people that are not already, like, tuned into this stuff. As I was reading, I was like, oh, I already did that. I did that. So, good for me. Good for me. I hope that some of those things, you felt that way as well. In particular, I think about the part where they were talking about going where the grid kind of needs you, like instinctively. And I watch a lot of things where I see people going all over the place and knowingly unlocking this stuff from the nodes and things like that. And that's great. And I was like, okay, I when I was younger, I used to feel the need to move around a lot more. But when I was younger, I was in way better physical condition. And, I don't know. I just, I've been in the place where I'm at for so long, but it's not, like, this is a state that I was not born in where I am. I'll just say I'm in the Pacific Northwest of the lower 48 contiguous states. So I'm not in my home state, and I'm not in this city, either of the 2 cities I started out in here. I subsequently moved here because it was less expensive rent, and compared to where I come from at the time and for many years after, everything was less expensive, but now that's all screwed up because capitalism, basically. So, okay. The next card was Star Brothers. So let me find that guy. And here it is. I've actually pulled this before. Like, I've only used these in like 3 readings so far. But I have pulled this one before, and it's interesting because I think what I'm looking at, I'm going to show you, but I think what I'm looking at is a spaceship. I lost the page again. Shoot. I can find it. So, okay. It looks like a bottle of booze behind the guy in the foreground, but the guy in the foreground looks to have... This is so funny because I'm getting a lot of synchronicities. I don't think I even watched the whole thing. I think I just caught it. You know how on YouTube if you have your phone just like open, but you haven't like clicked on a particular item. But if it's on your screen in a certain place, it'll just start playing unclicked. And so this happened, and it was about there's ETs with like elongated skulls compared to ours that like go out that way, I guess. And they used to interact with humans in antiquity, and so there was a fashion that the humans, to emulate the ETs, would artificially flatten the skulls of their infants because they were so soft you could do that. Like change the shape. If you started when the baby was young enough, which is super fresh, then you could manipulate the shape of that child's skull. And I think the reason why, maybe I did click on it, because it was asking if the person used a bump it, which is a little fashion device where you can create a little bump in your hair or create a rise. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out the Progressive Insurance commercials with Flo, the spokesperson. She has that hairdo where it's all smooth back and then it's all boop. Like, I don't know, you have a goiter under your hair or something, some swelling. And, yeah, I guess I did click on it now. I remember somebody in there saying, I assume it was the host, saying that the flattened style that came from, flattening the head style that came from us trying to emulate ETs goes away and comes back since then, like over and over. And it's true. You will see that hairstyle. Like, my friends and I call it the spider butt head. But I didn't really think about it being this thing, too. So that was a long, involved ramble for you to ponder. But yeah, it looks like this guy in front of... Where is my... Oh, come on. Why do I start without all of my... Oh, it is right there. Never mind. Anyway, so here's what I was saying. Like, here's the guy. Look at his elongated... It looks like it's elongated skull. And then this looks like a bottle of booze right here, doesn't it? Like, it looks like a bottle. I don't know why I designated it booze. But anyway, and then these things here sticking out make me think of a spaceship, and I've been trying to remember the name of these things for days. And I know it. I've been watching Star Trek for days. If you call days years, many of them. those ships in Star Trek, they have that saucer thing in the front, and then they have a long tube on the bottom underneath the saucer part that has these arms extending out of it, and then that has these long, like, bar things, and they have a name, and I totally know it. You can find out if you want to know that bad, but that's what those remind me of, like some part of spaceship propulsion. And it's, why would they put those three images together? Well, let's see what the card says. It says Horus energy. Oh, hold on, I'm gonna look that up. I'll be right back. This might be a long video. Okay, every time I try to look up the energy of something, it's some petroleum product company, which pisses me off. Like, leave that stuff in the earth and get out of my everything. And it is in everything, that petroleum crap. Sorry, let me just get off the soapbox, and I'll share with you what I finally got about the thing I was looking for. The energy of Horus is one of divine kingship, order, protection, and cosmic balance. Drawing power from the sun, right eye, the eye of Horus, I guess is the right one, and moon, left eye, as the sky god, embodying fierce vengeance against chaos. Set, another god, but also healing and restoration, representing the legitimate ruler and the triumph of good over evil. Okay, I can get down with Horus energy. He wields present solar and lunar energies, often channeled through his powerful Eye of Horus, a symbol of immense protection, healing, and all-seeing power. So, if you're unfamiliar with what the Eye of Horus is, that's it, right there. Sorry. Touched it and it got all excited. Okay, you need to be a little bit smaller. So, the right one is the sun, is the left one, and the left one is the moon. And you gotta, like, imagine the eyes on the face. It's not going to be my right or left. It's going to be on the face of Horus. To be clear. Okay, so how do I get rid of this now? Go away. Okay. Key aspects of Horus energy. Solar and lunar power. His right eye is the sun and his left the moon, giving him vast celestial power and an all-seeing perspective. Order and kingship. He represents divine right to rule, stability, and the victory of order over chaos as seen in his battle with Set. Okay, I just have to interrupt myself here I really feel the need to say this. I am not a fan of divine right to rule. That sounds like king crap. Well, he's like the kingship guy that we've already mentioned that. We don't do kings anymore. But I think we have avatars of many prior lifetimes or prior events on Earth, like Egyptian god battles. We still like almost act out those things that happened previously. I guess because on some level, some aspect was like a loose thread that was left hanging. Okay, protection and vengeance. As the avenger of Osiris, he embodies righteous fury, but is recovered. Eye symbolizes healing and restoration. So that suggests that if he recovered an eye, he lost it somehow. That's in the mythology, whatever he was fighting with Osiris about. I bet you find it there. I don't know it off the top of my head. But his recovered eye symbolizes healing and restoration. cosmic harmony. The Eye of Horus, Wajet, I guess that's an Egyptian word, signifies protection, healing, and cosmic balance, used in rituals and amulets. And this is the last one I'm going to read because I have a few other cards. War and combat. He is a god of war. I'm not a fan of that either. Capable of summoning weapons and creating powerful avatars in some traditions. That sounds very Dungeons and Dragons. No shade on that. I think it must be important in some way that we have yet to understand. So, Star Brothers, where were you? I think. Oh, well, close. But they're not all together. Alright, I gotta look in the index. So this is why it's gonna take a long time. I was gonna try to just read the things, but haha, that's a good one. Okay, 6. Too far. Okay. Star Brothers. Horus energy, protection, loyalty, safety, trust. I need the better light. You're more protected than you can imagine. It's safe to open the back of your heart. You're being called to be open to receiving a new level of support now, from those in your life and from benevolent beings you're connected with. Through ancestral patterning, current life traumas, and past life karmic impressions, many of us have become mistrustful and suspicious of loyalty and have blocks when it comes to receiving support. We've learned that we need to go at life alone, that it's not safe to let our guard down and our heart open, that the world isn't a friendly place. The Star Brothers want you to have a new experience of life on Earth. They want you to feel deeply secure and safe, even if you're going through a difficult time. They want you to hand over your fears to them, to see them as opportunities to let in more love. They're guiding you to stay open to receiving a greater level of support than you can ever imagine, both in this world and beyond. To call in your team of loyal protectors and supporters, both physically and energetically. They want you to learn to soften through life's up and downs and learn to open your heart, especially when it most wants to harden. Star Seed Soul Inquiry. How can you open yourself up to receiving more support? Okay, that is not a great position for my shoulder. And now you know that. So, a couple of things. It was talking about being mistrustful and suspicious of loyalty and have... Well, let's deal with that first, because I don't know if you recall, but I was just talking about how we don't do kings. And loyalty, topically, is topical right now because I'm in the United States and our current president has been known to demand loyalty. And whenever I hear that, I think, that's not very bright, because when you make people have to be loyal and they don't really feel that way, what you're going to have is people that are secretly disloyal. And loyalty is earned. You can't just be like, okay, if you're going to work with me and do this job, I'm going to pay you, but you have to also be loyal. And with this guy I'm talking about, that entails a lot. And he gets people in trouble, and he talks them into doing really stupid things. And it's certainly not doing it for their benefit. So this is why I am suspicious of people that require loyalty. Just saying. Sorry. So, sorry for yelling. I felt like I was just very loud. Okay, and then the other thing that stuck out for me was the blocks on receiving. I've been learning that there's more to being receptive than we have any clue of, but I think that we're being introduced to this type of information in a certain way so that we have cues, and then we can come along and find those cues and then detect for ourselves how we're blocked from receiving, which is, I think, very complicated and a whole other avenue of things to learn. And I mean, I feel like a block to receiving things could involve fear, and that also develops in many ways itself. So it's complicated, but I feel like it's connected with manifesting, and that that is also heavily, that's very layered. But manifesting, I think we start out wanting to do it because we want like a thing or a thing to happen. And I'm personally at a point where the things I want, like, I'm not asking for things that are like big, and the way that manifesting for me tends to happen, I don't know why it is not always connected with food, but I just happen to notice it. So it's still like one more day until I get my monthly pay, and I ran out of coffee creamer, and I had like various substitutes. Like I had eggnog, and I don't really like nutmeg, and all of them, the egg, I had 2 different kinds, and they were both super strong with the nutmeg, so I can taste both the nutmeg flavor and also soap, which is awesome in your coffee. Like, it was just not a very pleasant experience. And I kind of didn't really have anything else. and it's cold, and I want a warm drink, and I have tea. I wanted coffee. And I just started thinking of things that, for one, I don't normally put in my coffee, but I have. When I was a kid, the special coffee creamer was evaporated milk in a can, and that was like what my grandmother and my great aunt that lived next door used, and kind of all of the people in my family, like even on my father's side of the family, same thing. Like, I don't know if it was a southern thing or what, but evaporated milk, it was what we put in coffee. And, you know, like my aunt, I would go to my aunt's house fairly often, and it would be like the 2 adults for a long time until the 3rd child came along. It was the 2 older ones now and me. So 5 people. Actually, I might have been the only one of the kids that was drinking coffee. I just think, I'm just amazed that those little cans would take care of so many coffees, but also I'm remembering that the coffee cups now are gigantic. And if you go to like an Italian cafe or something, the cup is small. Or if you go to get Cuban coffee, those cups are small, but they don't cream those. My point is, I was amazed at how many coffees you could get out of one of those stupid little cans. But the cups were small, so... but back to like the receiving and the manifesting. So I was like pretty unhappy that I didn't have the coffee stuff because it is cold and that was what I want to drink. And I didn't want to go like try to ask the neighbor or whatever. And I was just waiting. But then I I went to the food bank and they gave me chocolate milk, soy milk, evaporated milk in a can. That's how the things come to me. And I wasn't trying to manifest anything. It just happened that way. But that particular item, the evaporated milk, I don't even know. I was shocked to even see, like, who still uses it? And so, other things that I would like to manifest, not seeing that stuff anywhere, which is not to say that I won't see it. That's something that we forget about. I'm just going to explain like a little tiny bit of a part of it. When we want something or pray for something or in some other way ask to receive something, it might be something that is more complicated to get headed your way than a can of milk. Because other people have their whole lives and attachment to all of the other people and things and events in their lives. Like, it's not always as easy to just pick up and go or make like a radical change in your life if you have a bunch of attachments and responsibilities. And I'm saying it'll take time often for your manifestations to manifest, to resolve into your reality, because other people got things going on that have to happen, that they have to do. Like, it's not just, it's complicated. And so things may not come immediately, but once you've asked for them, if you just, sort of like make it known that this is what you would like to manifest into your life, then you just have to say, okay, I did that, and go do something else. Like, you don't want to keep hammering on it and worrying about it and asking and asking and asking, because that will interfere with the process. So, okay, I'm just going to move on to the next card, which I believe was Whale and Orca Elders, and thankfully it's right here. So let me not lose the page. Let's stick the previous card in there just to save it and save us some time. So, Whale and Orca Elders. Here is what it looks like. I wonder why they don't have a dolphin on there. I just found out not too long ago that dolphins are whale, part of the whale family. I was thinking of their voices, like a big whale, like the one pictured here, looks like maybe a gray whale. They sound a certain way. The orcas are not as large, but I imagine they sound very similar. And I've heard a dolphin, and they don't, I've heard them underwater too, and what I'm getting at is they don't sound like the whale. I think they're like people where someone really tall, like a LeBron James or something, or Shaquille O'Neal is a good example. He's one of those people that's so big, his voice sounds different, and it manifests in large people that way. So I'm thinking it's also true of the whales, because the dolphins have a much higher voice, higher pitched. The resonance is not as, big. And I was laughing because it made me think of cheetahs, which there's all these cats, domestic cats I'm not talking about, but I mean larger cats from like a bobcat all the way up to a lion. So a lion and a domestic house cat sound a lot different, but going up from a domestic house cat, the cat's meows start to sound more like roars. And then you get up to like the larger cats in the lion, tiger, leopard area, and the cheetahs. The cheetahs basically meow. I don't know if that's going to mean anything to anyone else. I just thought it was funny, and then it's like a repeating pattern through all of the species. So that's interesting. Okay, so I'm going to read you what the book says. And I'm not going to bother with telling you what it says on the card, because it says it in front of what the book says. So what it also says on the card is, share your song, frequency of sound, dive deep. Well, there's a lot of frequencies you could tune into. It could be deep and low like the great whale, or high and clickety like a dolphin, or a roar, or a meow, or a normal man voice, or a super deep, giant-sized voice. The whale and orca elders are benevolent cosmic beings here to anchor a frequency of love onto the planet, to harmonize it with their song. As they weave through the oceans, they do so much more than any of us know. Their physical presence affects Earth's magnetic field, and their harmonics call us to wake up and remember our soul's song. So, okay, I'm going to interrupt myself here to say that, well, if you've watched my previous videos, you know that I started talking about the whale song talking to us and communicating to us through resonance like a few months ago. So that happened. I didn't study up for it or anything. I just spontaneously said it, and you are finding out with me that I was right. It just makes me happy, because I often feel like I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Okay, so and to remember our soul song, the reason why that strikes me is because I've been watching Cryon for years, or I've been watching Lee Carroll channel Cryon. Maybe I'll include a link to Cryon. But Cryon said a long time ago in a lecture he was giving, and he was talking about light language and how in other lifetimes, like far, far back, when ETs and humans interacted on like Lemuria, they everybody spoke light language, I guess. And so he was talking about names, and that your name wouldn't just be like Bill or the long version William. Our names were so long they were songs that took some time to sing. And that always stuck with me. And it goes back to that not remembering, because they talk about it again. Remembering your own soul's song. Talking about the whales, their physical presence affects Earth's magnetic field, and their harmonics call us to wake up and remember our own soul song. So again, the forgetting of something that happened a long time ago. And then I also thought it was interesting that they were talking about the whales' movements in the water having to do with the magnetic poles, and it just gave me the thought that the path of their swimming, as they're working with like the magnetic field and harmonizing things as well as us, shoot, don't forget. Oh, it was like they were sort of stitching through that area of reality with their swimming, like they were the needles, and their song the thread, and it's stitching together. Have some things having to do with the magnetic pole, but also other things that I was talking about, I think. And like I said, like doing their part to stitch together and like hold and maintain the cohesion of reality where they're doing that thing, the sewing. Okay, there's more here in this book. So, looking into the eye of a whale is something you'll never forget. Whales see into your very being, and in an instant, you're changed forever. They are pretty impressive. I mean, I've just seen a picture of one, and it kind of made me go through some things, you know? Like, I definitely felt like this is an elder being. Like, it had, like, ancient knowledge, and it was fully cognizant of it in the present. It was just a photograph. Okay, so, let me go on. They see beyond the physical, the woundings, the identity, the personality, the story. They see right into your soul. I think I kind of felt that just from the photo. Although that's not that unusual, like getting a big fat feeling from a picture. There's a name for it. I think it's psychometry. If you pull this card, you're being called to surrender to your deepest truth and share it with potency. To bow to who you truly are. To stretch your heart wide enough to hold it all. To leave your fears, doubts, and baggage at the door. To question any part of you that doesn't feel good enough. The whale and orca elders want you to give others the privilege of seeing who you truly are, and for you to see the same in other beings, to drop your hang-ups and personality flaws and get busy revealing the unique note your soul came here to sing. Allow the song that echoes in the four chambers of your heart to emanate in all four directions. Peel back the layers of suffering and pain to reveal to others your soul's true song, and endeavor to see the soul of all of those you meet. Okay. I'm not going to even mess with that. Starseed Soul Inquiry. How are you being called to share your soul's unique song? So, when they say, like, basically shed all of your armor protecting you from whatever it is you're fearing from other people, basically, what does that mean, though? Like, what are you exposing? What are you holding back? Do we even really know that? I feel like we're kind of strangers to ourselves in that way, because we spend so much time on appearances and worrying about, you know, what it's going to look like and what people think, or even like when you have to do something or appear in some certain way or place that you don't want to, and you do it anyway against everything inside of you that's going, oh, I really don't want to do this. This is like an offense to me, but to just fit in and, you know, go along to get along, we'll put ourselves in really uncomfortable positions and force ourselves to behave, to act in ways that are not our reality. They're not how we really feel, but we're just doing it because it's expected from us. It's like what we have to do. But that is like the prison of conformity, and I stay in it. I mean, I think I allow myself a lot more freedom than other people do, because I'm like, screw conformity. That's constrictive and claustrophobic, and it's not me doing it because it's what I want to do. So when you have to deal with that all the time and you're actively participating, I mean, even like with an open mind on this stuff, and that I think about it all the time, I don't know, like, what am I holding back? Like, what is there? I mean, I guess you hold something like that back out of, like, fear of being found out, whatever that means for you. Like, maybe you're closeted as a homosexual, but maybe you're closeted just about other aspects of your personality that you feel like you can't reveal to others safely. So it's saying, the article or the text in the book was saying, go ahead and do that, though. Go ahead and expose yourself, because you're not here to be hiding from things and fearful of acting because of other people and even what they're doing. We have forgotten how to be fearless because we're so attached with this mock-up reality that we build. Like, we all do it, I think. We all force ourselves to behave in ways we'd rather not, just because we have to, because we can't, like, be ourselves at work or whatever. And I feel like that's us losing a battle of sorts, and also, like, not why we're here. Like, we're not here to conceal who we are. We're here to be as much of who we are, to prevent situations like what's happening in the United States right now, because, boy, is that a lot of subterfuge and putting on fake everything, like words and outfit appearances. Like, it's such a, I can't believe it's like such a priority to everyone to appear a certain way. And it's like, you can say you're doing it for yourself, but are you really? Like, are you really just doing it for yourself? Or are you just doing it for the other people and saying this other thing and adding another layer to the subterfuge? So, that is just, like, I feel a distraction from what we are actually here to be doing. And I'm not saying don't do all of the things you have to do. It's kind of part of holding the whole structure of the reality together. But you don't have to do it, like, trapped in a shell of conformity. You're told you're not supposed to, but I'm just thinking of the times where I was working cleaning houses and also commercial places, which the commercial places were not open when we were there, so there was no one there to see my nose ring or complain about it. But I had this one boss that was really nuts about the nose ring. Like, I was not to wear it, but I would just take it off in the office and then put it right back in at work. No one ever complained, and his thing was I had to take it out because people were going to complain. It was all just a bunch of bullshit for nothing. Basically, because the nose ring did absolutely zero of the work of cleaning any of those places. It was just what that guy expected of his employees, and what he wanted to do was shape us in a certain way that sometimes wasn't our natural shape. And I don't like that. I know other people don't like it too, but this is me talking here, so let's talk about what I'm talking about. Okay, anyway, that took a turn. Let's move to the next card, which is the Cosmic Heart. Okay, I'm going to show it to you. When I was a kid and I used to go to church a lot, when I was really little, well, you didn't eat fish on Fridays. Like, that was, I still, maybe I don't remember the reason, but I think when I was told the reason at the time, I didn't think much of it. Like, it felt like, do this because we said so, like making a hypnotized person stand on one leg or something. It just didn't feel right. But anyway, we were expected to cover our hair, at least for like communion and confirmation, for like the ceremonial stuff. You did have like a little bit of wear to wear, but she's got a little like thing on her head, and that is something like we used to have in the church that we wore. But I noticed that she's also got something matching that looks like a scarf around her neck. So I'm not sure what that's all about. And then there's another vessel in the picture, like right next to her. And is it like, hold on, is it like a ghost container or what? Because you can see through it. Hold on, you can see through it, and it's like, there's the thing I'm talking about that looks like a vessel, like some sort of jug. There's no flat bottom, so maybe I'm completely wrong about that, but you can see her hand through it, and it's like, are you holding it actually? And it's a ghost mug, and it's transparent. Like, I'm not sure what I'm looking at. I'm really not. And I don't know what this is all about either. It looks kind of interesting. Maybe it's a portal, because it sort of looks like she stepped through. Anyway, that's what the card looks like. And so, let us see what the book has to say about it. And it says, devotion, potency, make your life a moving prayer. Oh, well that's, I think, I've pulled this card before. Before I start reading, I'm just going to say that I feel like the making your life a moving prayer, that's like kind of in that manifestation area again, because when you pray, you are usually asking for something. So, I mean, you want something to happen, or you want to be receiving something. Okay, hold on. I gotta lock my wheels because I keep... There we go. And now I will read the text. When you surrender to a state of devotion, you find yourself flowing with all of life. You're being called to refocus your attention deep within, the intelligence of your own heart, to bow with deep reverence to your inner temple, to live your life in devotion to this place, to make your life a big moving prayer. Perhaps you felt a bit off-kilter lately, sensing that the potency of why you're doing things has gotten a little watered down or weak. Oh wait, hold on, let me rephrase that. Perhaps you felt a bit off-kilter lately, sensing that the potency of why you're doing things has gotten a little watered down or weak. That's because it's fake, based on appearances. It's not real. Not any more than whatever that woman on the card's got her hand through or is behind it. You can see right through it. I don't know what that means. I'm sure it's a metaphor for something. Perhaps you've forgotten what made you start doing them in the first place. If so, this is your call to take a moment and reconnect with the truth at the very center of your heart. To get back to the essence of what you're about. To devote your life to what you care about, to turn your gaze deep, deep, deep. I think deep, deep, deep within is what they're saying. There are seasons for harvesting and seasons for sowing. Right now you're being called to plant your soul seeds and sing them with deep devotion. To feed them with the sweet waters of your own soul. To lose yourself in the potency of what it is that most expands your heart. To live your life according to what makes you come alive, rather than what everyone else thinks. Nailed it. To live your life according to what makes you come alive, rather than what everyone else thinks. To make your life one big moving prayer. Starseed Soul Inquiry, how can you make your life a moving prayer? Well, I think I kind of already talked about it before the book got caught up to me. We're in sync. We're in sync now. So, yeah, like, shaping yourself to others' expectations for appearance's sake, literally, is confining, and it's not real. It's not our real selves. It's what I was saying, like you have to invent this persona for work or whatever it happens to be. Or, maybe you just wear a mask or a costume just to fit in everywhere so that people never can get a look at the real you and what's really going on in there. But what this seems to be saying, and I feel like this is true, because if you're not being your real self, you're kind of robbing yourself of what you are owed in life. But we do end up doing these kind of things to ourselves because of fear, or just because of fear. If fear manifests in more ways than just like, being scared and running to hide. You can also get really angry about it or really depressed. It just depends on the person, I think. So, okay. Final card, come on, is Double Mission. Whoa, that's a little disturbing. I see now that it's makeup on her eyes, but I was like, oh my god, are those metal? Is that like a robot? And it scared me. Why did it scare me? So, okay. Okay, big head in space. I don't know what it means. But there is a big planet here that is sharing the space. It's kind of opalescent, which is interesting. And if you don't know what that means, not to say that you don't, but someone might not. Opalescent is like the interior of an abalone shell, where it's kind of like this silvery rainbow situation. And then I thought it was kind of interesting that there's like a space butterfly wing, like a giant butterfly, a space butterfly peeping out from behind this planetoid here. Yeah, I don't know. This picture is making me laugh for some reason. Not added, it's just like giving me mirth. Let us see what the book says about the double mission. So on the card it says, Lightworker, Starseed, serve the world by being you. Well, there you go. Again, do not obscure your identity, your true self. Like, you did that. Been there, done that. And now, like, you get to the meat of the situation, the reality. Or, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's just read what it says. Lightworker starseeds are mission and purpose oriented. Many have the feeling that time's running out, and there's something they came here to do. Create or contribute. They're here to grow as souls individually, individual mission, so that's for your personal mission, and also to contribute to the planet in some action-oriented way, collective mission. Their collective mission is often answered through a career calling or by devoting their life to something bigger. Until they remember their collective mission, it can feel as if something's missing or that they're forgetting something important. Again, with the forgetting, I don't know who came up with that particular device, but okay. It's common for Lightworker starseeds to feel they're different, and they may carry soul memories of being visible or sharing their voice. As such, they may protect themselves by dimming their light in order to fit in. Dimming their light by wearing a costume, a fake identity, to fit in. Or by spending time in some sort of closet. There you go. Such as a spiritual closet. Boom! I did it again. If you pull this card out, you're being called to remember your collective mission and step into it even more fully. You're being reminded that your role as a light worker is to light up the world with your presence. This doesn't have to be a great big thing or a decision you need to make. You also don't need to have a great big plan. If you resonate with being a light worker, all you need to do is work out what lights you up, your passions, your passions and joys, and keep doing that. When you trust and follow the simple path of things that light you up, and then lose yourself in the doing, you'll light up the world without even trying. Starseed Soul Inquiry. How can you serve the world by being you? I guess you'll never know. Yeah, I gotta figure out something. I actually just need a lighter bulb for the overhead. I know that's so important to you, but anyway. Blah, 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 blah. What was I saying? Oh, so yeah. A lot of us, I guess, do have like some grand purpose or venture that they feel compelled to work out. Like healing centers or groups of some kinds related to healing, or whatever it is, like teaching people how to tone or do light language or Reiki, or working in the healthcare industry is also a way that a lot of star seeds and light workers in that will find their way, like discover like that is their role here, because that's what they're good at. Like that is their area of expertise that helps them work within the idea of now I'm just losing the thread, but some people, like, they find their different ways. Like, we all have a different way. There's writers and musicians and artists, and they don't have to necessarily be like, I am a starseed, this is my mission, and that's what I'm doing. As long as you do what you love, and especially if you do it in such a way that it can be shared with other people and give them joy, mission accomplished. Like if you can make people feel happy and good, mission accomplished. Because everything needs to be done. There's room for everybody to lend a hand. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. A thank you and good night. A thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Ow! Good night.